Hello fencers, welcome back to another footwork training at Northwest Fencing Center. I'm Coach Simon and today we will work on extension, more precisely the commitment and the speed of that extension. Last class we focused on the timing, the moment of that extension. So if you missed out on the last class, I will put a link at the end of this video so you can go back to it and work on it. For now, let's start the warm-up. For the warm-up today, I will start simply by warming up my shoulders, as they will be more involved today than other sessions. So I'm going to start with wide circle with my fencing arm, nice and wide, one direction, and change direction. I can use my second hand for your stability on the shoulder. Alright, I loosen the arm I just worked and I switch and work the other one. Same thing, I will work one direction, nice, controlled, wide circles, and change direction. Same thing, nice and wide, giving the shoulder a good range of motion. And I loosen. While I relax my shoulders, I'm going to slightly stretch my neck, so I will lean my head toward the left side, feel the pull on the right side of the neck, hold it a little bit, slowly recenter my head, and now lean toward the right side and feel that stretch on the left side of the neck. Come back to the center and a little move right to left, just little motion. I reach position of stretching and slowly switch back, right to left, left to right, and relax. Back to my shoulders. I will now open my arms, feel the chest also opening, and cross, and open again, and cross. Nice and wide, opening, breathing, and controlling everything. I can add a little coordination component, bring my left arm over the top on one wave, and then my right arm over the top on the other wave. And I cross one way, then cross the other way. And I relax. I will go back to my neck and now turn my head. So I will look toward the right side, hold that position, slowly come back to the center, then look toward the left side. Same thing, slowly back to the center, and again, right and left. Note that my chest, shoulders, hip, everything is staying in place. Only my neck is moving, and I loosen. Alright, one more work on the arms and shoulders. I'm going to now work up and down. So right goes down when left goes up, and vice versa. Alright, up and down, and I stretch when I reach the end of the motion. Stretch, stretch, up. About 10 repetitions. This should also bring a little bit of stretch in my back. And I relax. Alright, let's move down to warming up the legs a little bit. I'm going to alternate 5 squats. So for the squats, again, my feet are parallel, and I'm going to bring my hip back here. Alright, and make sure everything is stable on the legs. So 5 squats, let's go. 1, 2, I don't need to go too low for now, 3, 4, 5, and I will do a side lunge. I'm going to bring my right foot away. For now, I keep my feet parallel, and I'm going to lean on that right leg and flex slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to the center. I can loosen my legs, and I will do again 5 squats, then stretch and lunge on my left side. So let's go for 5 squats, feet anchored. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I stretch to my left and 5 stretches on that left side. 3, 4, 5, and I relax to the center. Shake it out. I will go back to my 5 squats, go stretch again on the right side. I will this time, as I stretch to the right side, move into a lunge position. So my right foot will turn and move out. Okay, for now, let's go with the squat. So 5 again, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn the right foot, pull it out. So my right leg is almost extended for now, and I'm going to stretch, going lower on this right leg 5 times. 1, and back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I went slightly lower every time. And I'm going to relax to the center, loosen the legs, relax the knees, and again 5 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left foot turn and lunge toward the left. Again, I'm not too far in the lunge, and I'm going to stretch. 1, and relax. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I relax and I loosen. All right, I will finish my warm-up with a little bit more lunging on my fencing side now. So righty fencers will be on guard normally, right foot in front. Lefty fencers will be on guard normally, left foot in front. And I'm going to stabilize a good on guard position, hands in place, do a relaxed extend and lunge, nice and relaxed, and I stretch again. My little swings to slowly pull these muscles and slowly relax. So I can do a recover in several motions for now, taking it easy. I loosen the legs between stretches and I go again. Slightly further this time. And stretch, and all that stretch. And I will from there pivot the feet and stretch down a little bit. So my left heel is anchored now. Lefty fencer, your right heel would be anchored, and you stretch down that leg. And little stretch opposite side, and back to your good side on the lunge. And recover in one move this time and relax. All right, so today little progression. We have 5-step progressions to focus on the speed of that extend and the commitment we put into it. So I will need for today's practice glove, weapon, and if I want, target, and mask. Okay, again, you will hit the target at a high speed. There is chance that your blade might break and fly. That's why you should always use the mask when working with a target. My first work is going to be about relaxing that shoulder to be able to control the extend independent from what the legs are doing. So, in order to do that, I'm going to start on guard position, close enough I can hit my target extending my arm, and I'm going to start a footwork pattern of tapping right foot, right foot, left foot, front foot, back foot, and find a rhythm. I find a pace with my feet, and once I get the rhythm, I try to bring the focus to that shoulder, and I'm going to extend, relax, stay on the target, make sure the feet are still going at the same speed, and then recover and relax. I make sure my shoulder is loose, so I really focus on feeling that looseness, and extend and recover. My feet are going and I try to forget about that. And again, extend and recover. And again, extend. That's my fourth extend. I'm going to keep going until I did about 10. Again, all I think about right now is my extend and the target. I have my eyes on the spot I want to hit. And when my brain says go, I release the extend. And I make sure it's a fully committed extend. And I relax. And again, my brain says go, and I extend. And my brain says go again. I think I'm at 7. I'm going to do a few more. My feet are still going. One more. And I relax and loosen. I maintain my tip on target for 2 reasons. Okay, first one, make sure I was balanced, make sure the tip was where I wanted, and the second one, to make sure I worked a full commitment. I want to hit through the target, reaching the target with the maximum impact possible, and make sure I do not pull my arm too early. All right, moving forward, I will work from the same base. My feet are going to maintain a pattern. Once the pattern is going, I try to bring the focus mostly on my shoulder and extend, and I'm going to try now to work that extend at a higher pace, faster commitment, without changing the rhythm of my feet. So I get the feet going. Okay, now I focus on my arm, and I extend it fast. So again, I relax. I'm relaxed, I'm loose, and my brain decide when the brain says go, I go, go. And I worked fast, then I maintain. And again, relax, my brain says go, and I extend fast on the go. My feet did not change, my balance did not change. Again, brain says go, and I go fast. So at your own decision, you're gonna work that fast extend. Between extensions, you can bring the focus back to the body, make sure it's balanced, make sure it's still working down here, and then back to focusing on the shoulder. Together extend to really blast out when the brain says go. And you're going to try to work on 10 good repetitions. If on one of the extensions realize that you maybe lost the balance or the feet When to freeze, you will not count that repetition, and make sure you only count the repetitions that have fast extension, balance stance, and footwork pattern unchanged. Once you did your 10 good repetitions, you may relax. I'm going to evolve my work now, working from advance. I'm going to focus on that extension being the lead of my motion. By the lead, I mean the extend is going to initiate, start, be the first thing moving, and my feet are going to follow. It's like having a string going from my wrist to my front toes, and when the wrist start pulling forward, when the extend start going, the feet are going to follow. Again, I will start the extend, I can go slow, start the extend, start the feet. So 10 repetitions, really focusing on this progression from decision, I start the extend, movement of the wrist, movement of the legs. One thing I want to avoid is going one halfway through, then stop that extend, and then restart the extend when the feet are going. No, the extend starts and does not stop. The feet are simply a little behind. But once I start moving, there is no interruption until my motion is complete. When my tip hits the target, I keep moving forward. I finish that motion, and the blade is going to take the pressure. My extend remains committed. So again, nice and slow. I decide from the shoulder and follow with the feet. And again, shoulder, tip is going, feet are following. Now relax. Tip, feet. And again, tip, feet. And I'm going to do one more. Tip, feet. Make sure I control that hit, then relax, then loosen. Again, about 10 repetitions to really get that progression under control. Decision to move and extend. Tip is moving, feet are moving, hit is happening, motion is over. All right, same idea, I put a little speed into it. So, the main focus here is still to make sure the extension is the lead of everything happening. What I can do now is add some speed into it. So the brain, again, is going to decide. When the brain says go, it's going to go extension, movement, and go extension, movement. I try to still have that tip moving slightly before the feet, but the feet are following close behind. Tip feet. And again, I relax before and tip feet. And again, I relax, conscious of what my shoulder is ready to do. Tip feet. And again, we will do 10 repetitions. Tip feet. And take time after the hit to relax. Make sure everything is in place. Tip feet. Balance. Again, tip feet. Tip feet. And relax. One mistake that could happen is your tip starting to go right, left, up and down. you're not able to be consistent on the target you hit. This usually indicates tension in the shoulder. If you tense at the moment you accelerate, you are going to punch rather than drive your tip. Okay? The punching motion is not straight, okay, and is more likely to miss the target or slide on the target or even bounce on the target. That's why it's important to relax before and really focus on that straight drive of the extension. Alright, I move now to two advances. Smooth motion, so my feet are going to work advance, advance with no interruption. Both steps are connected. And my extension is going to be, again, the lead of my final motion. So the lead of my second advance. So if I work everything slow, I'm going to do that first advance. When the back foot will land, the extend is happening, then the second advance is happening. So my extend is a bridge between my two steps. First advance, back foot extend, advance. And again, I work slow for now to recontrol A, B, and C. So advance, extend, advance. And again, advance, extend, advance. As I work my first advance, I'm really aware of when this back foot is landing, because that's the moment my extend is triggered. Again, I focus on the extend, the extension. Up, boom. And again, I'm still working slow, 10 repetitions to really get that progression. Advance, extend, advance. Advance, extend, advance. And I still stay on the hit a second or two to check precision and balance. Once I get that motion well under control, advance, extend, advance, I can bring a little speed into it. What I want is the speed of my arm to be the main drive. So I'm not going to focus so much on how fast my legs are moving. What I'm going to focus on is being aware of this first step and the timing of that back leg, because this is when my arm should be triggered. And also I focus on this target and having that speed of extension pulling me toward that target. So my big focus is 1 and 2. 1 being the extend, 2 being my final goal, the hit on that target. So advance, extend, advance. And again, my brain is ready to trigger that arm. I start moving, trigger. And once it's triggered, I try to reach fast for that target. So the feet should also follow and accelerate. Big focus on my arm. I decide, go. Again, ready, go. My arm is in the lead. Ready, go. And again, I control the hit. I did not bring my chest forward. Okay, I maintain my balance. My abs are engaged to make sure that I'm in control of that commitment. Lots of speed without balance can get you in trouble. One more. Focus on fast arm and go. And I relax. Again, big lead on the arm. Alright, my next evolution is going to be with the lunge. The same way I worked with the advance, with my extension pulling my motion, I'm going to work the lunge. I'm going to adjust my distance to the target, bring the focus to relax, so my shoulders are available to work, and my arm is going to pull my foot. And I recover. So for now, I don't need to go for a crazy lunge in terms of speed, in terms of stretch. I'm going to get that tip extension to start moving, and the feet are going to follow. Once I hit the target, I can adjust, maybe stretch a little more, because next series will bring some speed. So I'm going to make sure on this slow series that I focus on the development of that lunge, with the extension being the lead. But I'm also going to use this series to bring a little more warm up to my lunge, so I'm ready for my next series, in which I will be a little more intense. Again, extend feet. So my feet are moving before the extend is complete, but they start after. And like earlier on the advance, the extension is one smooth motion. It is not interrupted in the middle. And I relax. This step of slow movement is probably the most important. You have to master that progression before you can work with speed. Alright, I control my motion. I'm now going to add the speed factor to it. Again, most of the speed is going to come from the decision and the commitment. My brain is in charge, and when my brain says go, everything is released, starting with my arm. I'm ready to go toward that target with my hand leading and go. I'm going to release the arm. The legs are going to follow because I want to get there. Again, go. And recover. And again, my shoulders are available. And I really try to work some self-assessment. If I realize that my feet started, I have to give that feedback to myself and not be satisfied with it. Make sure I worked the correct motion of arm and legs. And I try to make that bridge seamless as I work through my series. And once I did my 10 repetitions, I will relax. Alright, my final series for today is going to be a combination of what we did so far. I'm going to work advanced lunge, fit that commitment and fast extension in this advanced lunge, just leading the lunge. So one more time, I will work a series at moderate speed to control. Starting the legs, focus is already on my extension, slightly before the lunge. Advance, extend lunge. And again, advance, extend lunge. Don't hesitate to work slow. It's important. really focusing on timing of each component here. And because I work slow, I should be able to easily focus on loosening the shoulders and maintaining the shoulders relaxed until the extend is triggered. Of course, once I extend, there is some tension in the shoulders. Not too much, but there has to be a little bit to maintain the stretch, maintain the reach. And I relax. So I worked progressively to control each piece of the action. I'm going to finish now with advanced lunge with a strong, committed, and fast extension leading my lunge. One thing that will remain unchanged is the control after the hit and the go back to relax before the action begins. So I'm loosening, I'm ready. My focus again is on extend and my final goal, which is that target. And I control the recover, focusing on that fast extend. Advance, extend. I want to get that feeling of my arm pulling me forward, pulling me to that target, going through that target. My opponent's parry is slightly too weak. I'm simply going to break through that parry. And I'm balanced on that lunge. I control. And I'm going to work my 10 reps. And recover. And that concludes my progression. So today's work was slightly shorter. What I would like you to really get out of it is the idea of progression, to work each piece of the motion individually, to really isolate the important part. The important part was to be able to bring speed in the extend, working from relax, and have that extend leading the final motion. So ways to work on it from there is go through that video a couple times, maybe focus more on some exercise if you feel like these are more challenging for you. And if you have the possibility to record yourself doing it. Record yourself doing the motion at slow speed, then fast speed. Once you have the recording of the motion at fast speed, you can watch it in slow motion and see, is your arm working in the lead? Are your legs early and your arm following? You can have a lot of good feedbacks from recording yourself, then watching it at slow motion. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave it a like. If you want more content, I will link a playlist of more footwork videos. And if you missed out on the last class focusing also on extension, I will also link that video on the screen. Thank you and see you next time.